Welcome back, everybody, to CB Rivals Podcast. We're back with another episode, and this time it's for CBL. Because with CB Rivals Podcast, we are covering or trying to cover everything that is Conquest Blade related and esports related. So here we are again. I'm CB, tournament organizer for CB Rivals, and now also assisting Poros with this CBL event during summer 2024. We're going to be talking about all the matches that happened last Sunday and also about the ones that are coming up. And I'm also going to make a comparison because I got someone with me, very special streamer called Mr. Nara. So welcome.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, CB, for your invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. You watch some Asia, so we're going to be able to compare the regions already a little bit before they face off later today in CBL. But before we go there, Nara, please introduce yourself to those who don't know you yet.
Yes, so I'm a French streamer, content creator for Conqueror's Blade. I also cast competitions such as CBR, CBL, and lately the Arial Cup. So I mainly cast in French, and also my stream is in French. So I usually cast for the French community.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the French accent into your English.
Yes.
I'm lucky to have heard it before as well because you've been doing some English cast as well for CB Rivals. So again, thank you so much for doing those also.
So I always keep my French accent. I couldn't remove it, so I have it for my lifetime.
Yeah, exactly, and you should keep it that way for sure. It sounds good.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Yeah, let's go to the games because they were amazing. How did you enjoy it overall last Sunday?
Yes, it was a long day, but very interesting. So we had a lot of matches. We start at 3 p.m. and finish. So I finished around 9 because I cast only EU. But for you, as you cast all American matches, you finished so late, around midnight maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I was starting, like you said, at 3 p.m. for Europe, and then we finished at midnight. And then also did a little bit after that. So I was at 1 p.m. like in middle of the night before I went to bed. Yeah. Was a 15-hour long day, so
Yes.
it was a long one.
And we talked the morning because of the organization for all the access. So we start talking from 9 a.m. maybe to prepare, to be ready for the afternoon. So also for you, as you help us to organize, so it was a long day preparing, organization, and casting after.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of stuff has been going into the background to get us where we wanted to be. So I'm happy that we managed to get through the whole day quite successfully. I think we were on time. All the matches were amazing. So let's talk about the groups and see how the standings are right now. Before we talk more about the matches and everything that we've seen, we'll quickly run you through the current groups standings. So Group A, B, C, and D in Europe, and then also Group A and B in the Americas. So here it is, guys, just real quick. So Group A. Led by Dwarf, followed by Hamsters, then Leftovers and D's. Dwarf and Hamsters and Leftovers both taking a win, where Dwarf actually had, let me check this again, where Leftovers also won against Hamsters, so Hamsters already having played 2 matches. D's in that group has lost 2 matches, so they are almost guaranteed to be out of the event, unless something crazy happens in their next Sunday. Then we got Group B, led by Story Enjoyers with 2 wins against Wise Series and Argonautas, followed by Wise Series with 1 win and Can We Win and Argonautas at the bottom with 0 wins in that group. We got Group C, led by Yeah Buddy with 2 match wins, one of them really close against the second team in that group, Apes, who have 1 win. Then we got Womp Womp and RJ, who are currently sitting at 0 match wins in that group. We got Group D, led by Not Your Level, 1 match win, followed by Who Cares, who has played 2 matches, and then Nerve Everything with one match win, and Mugiwara with 0 wins out of 2 matches. So that was real quick the standings of the European games. As you've seen most of the European matches in Group B and D, Nara, which teams stood out to you?
Yes, exactly. I was covering Group B and D as they are the group with most of French players are inside. So as I cover the cast for the French community, so I try to have a lot of French players on the match I cast. So on the Group B, SE is one of the favorite teams. So I guess for all Europe team, SE was really strong. There are a lot of good players inside, which a lot of experience, and it's a strong one team. Group B and C are the strongest and the hardest group.
Hmm.
For example, for Argonaut, it's a hard group for them because it's a good team, Argonaut, but they're on a very difficult group. Maybe they can be qualified as they will play 2 matches on next Sunday. And also it's a bit difficult for all the team because they play 2 matches on last Sunday and some of them will play 2 matches on the next one. For example, Why So Serious, if I remember well, so they played at 5 p.m. They finished just after 6 because of the grassland matches, and they start again at 7, so 1 hour later. So it's difficult I think it's difficult for them to manage all that matches because they don't have a lot of break between both matches.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of work for the team captains, I'm sure, to get the team ready within the hour for a new map as well. Teams were lucky to have their maps, of course, known the day before, so they had some time to prepare. But you're absolutely right. The schedule is pretty hard on the teams. When you are having to play 2 matches on one day, it's going to be the same during quarter and semis. The quarters for and semis for Europe will be on the same day in 2 weeks from now. So that's going to be a whole different game because it's going to be a best of 5 as well. So it's going to be a long day for the teams and for the streamers and casters. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think on the Group D, NE made a great matches. So they played only one time and they were strong. So we will see this time against Neil and I just check. They played against YC, if I remember, and they will play Mugiwara and Neil.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Nerf Everything was a team that showed up pretty well against Who Cares. Like you said, they won that match, and they've only played one, so their next Sunday is going to be hard. But Mugiwara is looking like a team in that group that is currently the weakest right now. So Nerf Everything should be able to win that match, and then it's all going to be about whether Who Cares or Not Your Level can take another win, and then we may get a really close group in that Group D after this Sunday. So gonna be exciting to see if there will be tiebreakers for sure. And then Group C is another interesting group. I was surprised to see Yeah Buddy almost lose to Apes on the grasslands, so it was a 2-1 for Yeah Buddy in the end. But Apes looking really strong in that group. And then Womp Womp and RJ have not won any of their matches yet, and also no points. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Also develop in the next Sunday if Apes is another strong team that maybe can get further into the tournaments, because they've shown a really good match against Yeah Buddy, who's also one of the tournament favorites.
Yes, and do you have a favorite team of European team as the winner of the Western side between EU and A will fight against the Asian team, so on special exhibition matches? So which team do you think can be there? So we can do like a prediction.
Yeah, we could. Well, I should try to stay, of course, as unbiased as possible. But based on what I've seen, and again, I've only watched Yeah Buddy's Grasslands game, so I need to watch more from them for sure. But I think that before the tournament, I was looking at Story and Joyous and Yeah Buddy, and possibly Why So Serious as well, as the 3 favorites for me on paper. And then because all the other teams have really good players, but we've not seen them together in a recent tournament, other than maybe Aerial Cup, right? And that's only one event. And this is CBL rules, which is entirely different with the artillery, which we will talk about later as well. So for me, it was Story and Joyous who were the clear favorite now, because the way that they beat Why So Serious was by using artillery very aggressively, very fast, like as if there was no hesitation. It was really impressive to watch.
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay, good.
So Story and Joyeux and maybe Yeah Buddy for the final of EU teams.
Yeah, so depending how it shapes up. But again, I mean, like in Group A and Group D, there could be teams like we said, Who Cares, Nerf Everything, NYL, Dwarves, Ham, Lost Leftovers. Like all of these teams with time could improve a lot as well if they put in the scrim hours, and they might always surprise us somewhere, because they're all really good players, that's for sure.
I hope we will have a lot of surprise.
Oh yeah,
later on
absolutely.
after the group stage, as the group stage will finish on next Sunday, as all matches from group stage will be finished. So we will know who will be qualified for the round of 16 and quarterfinal later. So we can see. I hope we can see a lot of surprise.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. I'm looking forward to surprises always. Always rooting for the underdog. Keeps things excited, and then
And what do you think about the American team? So I haven't seen any matches. So
yep.
as you was casting them, what do you think?
I think that in general, the American teams look like they were having a different style of play in most of the matches. They were defending less around A points, for example, and falling back quicker compared to other teams. And then they would like hold their ground very strongly on 1 point and really focus to beat it out there. Where it looked like the European teams were trying to bait out more artillery earlier in the game around the A point, B points, before it would finally get to the final points. So that was something that I thought was interesting to see generally. And then I think that currently in Americas we have two teams that seem to be stronger than most other teams, and that's TLC in Group A and NSNS in Group B. TLC has already won 2 matches, and they played against. Let me check this, just to be sure. So they won both of their matches, and then Aerial Academy, Morton both won 1 match in that group, and Chuckle Knights lost all of their matches, but got to a tiebreaker match against Morton in one of those. So it's going to be an exciting group for sure. And Aero Academy and Morton, they were 2 teams that showed great improvements already throughout the day. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do during the quarters and during semis and possibly finals, if they manage to get more wins under their belt. And NSNS were just really convincing against Vanguardia. I haven't seen Ego, who won the other match in that group, and Group B has only been playing 1 match. So this next Sunday will be 2 matches for Group B and 1 match for Group A. So yeah, will be good to see.
And the winners team from A so will fight on the Western Championship, and the winner will fight against Asian team.
Yep.
An exhibition match with Deathmatch, Colosseum, Siege. So it will be interesting to see that matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that some teams are already looking forward to it. And considering you've seen some of the Asian matches, what are they looking like? Can you tell us more?
Yes, so I was casting APAC matches. So I just take the APAC team. So I was casting especially the Group A and the Group D on the APAC. So match schedule is quite different because they are playing the afternoon for us as it's the evening, and they play on the weekdays, so Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the unit meta is quite similar to European team, but I noticed some difference on hero meta. For example, they don't use a lot of medium armor, but on heavy armor they are using less maul and more poleaxe, for example, and less musket and more pike and spears. So it's a bit different. And this afternoon I was watching the AP team, and they use a lot of light armor, so a lot of dual blade, and it was totally different than other team, and it's quite interesting to see them playing that.
That's definitely interesting. So yeah, it's going to be good to see how the Asian meta develops, and if it's also going to flow into European meta, we might be seeing changes, or maybe the European or American meta proves to be stronger in the end. And then so it's going to be interesting to see those style clashes later on in CBL for sure. So I'm glad that we got you and other guys keeping an eye on Asia. It's going to be good to keep bringing that in. Something else that I want to talk about with you was the units that we saw, because I think it was good to see a lot of diversity in most matches. Also because there was no unit bans, of course. There will be unit bans during the playoff series, but during group stage there's no unit bans. So we saw lots of Falconetti, of course, as specialty units, but also a big mix of Flamers, Shenji, Coconuts. On Americas, even some interesting picks, such as a lot of green shields and also
Yes.
the Red and Pikemen were played. So that was interesting to see that they had different picks in the Americas. And one unit that was played less in Americas, but a lot of in Europe, was the new T5, the Phalanx unit. And also, so let's just start there first. So the infantry units, basically. How did you enjoy seeing the Phalanx unit? Because it seemed to be a really strong pick.
Yes, the unit ban will introduce a new meta, I think, because we can see a lot of same units on all matches, and the unit ban will change all matches, and it will be quite interesting to see how they will adapt to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's good to see, as you said, that we already have so many different picks, and depending on the map, of course, there's a few units that will always be picked. For example, Hidden City always had Falconettis, trying to destroy the towers as a defender and trying to delay it for as long as you can, which makes for a bit of boring gameplay, to be honest. But at the same time, you could see that it takes skill to be able to pull it off as well. But yeah, for viewers, I hope that Falconetti get banned a lot, because it's generally more fun in the early game. But we'll see. And another thing that stood out to me was following, especially on grasslands, what type of cav was being played. As we may see, of course, bans later on towards cav units. But for now, it seems like the T5 from last season, of course, the Shunya cav, but also the T4 from this season is coming up a lot as one of the main cavs. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes throughout the tournament as well.
And we see a lot of new T5 of this season.
Yep.
I think it was on the most picked team with most picked unit, such as also Wu-Wei for the last season. That kind of unit, we can see them all matches. So maybe the bans will introduce a new unit that we see currently less than other one. So it will be interesting to see what will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, first of course, we got group stages to finish next Sunday. But after that, it will be really interesting to start talking about all the adaptations that teams have to make when, for example, Wu-Wei and Phalanx and Falconetti and Halp Sergeants, for example, are banned, because these are units that all teams have been picking, right? So suddenly you could have 4 bans and you need to change up the entire strategy. So yeah, we're gonna find out later. First though, next group stage. So this Sunday, got 4 groups. Only 8 teams can make it out to the next round for Europe. So let's focus on those teams first. Who do you think is going to go through?
From Group A, I think Dwarf and maybe Loss.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm thinking similar, to be honest, because Ham already lost against Loss. Of course, Dwarf has only played D, so between Dwarf and Ham, it could still be really exciting, because Dwarf technically have had the easiest schedule so far. So, but yeah, I agree. I think Leftovers and Dwarf so far seem to be the better teams. Yeah. Group B, I would definitely give it to the way it is right now. I think Story and Joy is just way too strong in that group. They only have to play against Can We Win, so they should be easy first placed on paper. Wise Series only has to play 1 match against Argonauts, and that's gonna be deciding who gets second place, probably.
I think so.
Yeah.
It will be the matches for the second place. So it will be hard for Argonaut, but maybe they can do it. But they have to play 2 matches against CWW and Wise Serious. It will be hard, but they can be qualified.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, that's gonna be a really interesting second place to keep an eye on for this next Sunday. Group C, yeah, buddy, same story as Story and Joris. They already won against Ape, so that was probably the second strongest teams in the group. And then I would expect Apes to make it out, because they only need 1 win now, and they only have 1 game to play. But at the same time, I haven't seen the other 2 teams play yet, so they could show up strong, I guess, and still contest for that second place.
Yes, I haven't seen Rough Justice on CBL, but I saw them on Arial Cubs. It was a strong team, but I don't know if they lost a lot of players for this CBL. But during the Arial Cup, it was a
Yeah, absolutely right. And I was surprised to see Rough Justice without any wins there on the day one. So yeah, Rough Justice definitely a team to watch. They could still surprises on this next Sunday. Group D then, not your level. Who cares? Nerf Everything and Mugiwara. As we said, Mugiwara seems to be clearly the weakest team on that one, but it's still 3 teams that could make it out. So I think anything can happen there, really.
Yes, it's the closest group for for the first 3 teams, so they all can be qualified. So if I have to give a prediction, so maybe NE, the first one, and maybe not your level, the second one, or WCI.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
It's tricky, right? It's like
to make a prediction.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like Who Cares and Mugiwara both have played 2 matches, so they only need to play 1. So Who Cares play 1. If they win that, then they get first or second place, pretty much guaranteed. But Not Your Level and Nerf Everything have to play 2 matches, and for them it's the same. They need to win one of those for to get out. So yeah, but they need to do 2 preparations. So it's gonna be really exciting.
Group. Yes.
Yeah, it's a tough group to get out of probably. Yeah. All right. We'll find out on Sunday. Americas then. Group A, as I said, TLC seems to be clear favorite. Chuckle Knights has already lost 2 matches, so it's going to be really hard for them to get out. Their only chance is if TLC win out and then Chuckle Knights win their remaining match. But I believe that they have to play it against TLC, so that's almost impossible for them. And then Aerial Academy and Mortem both look like they're pretty much equal in many ways, although Mortem won against Aerial Academy. So sorry, no, didn't. Anyway, so Aerial Academy and Mortem are gonna be like fighting for that second place, I think. And then Group B, NSNS seems to be the team that should be going out. Vanguarda having lost against NSNS, so only playing for second place still. And Nox also still playing for second place, having lost against Ego. So still a lot can happen though, because all the teams have to play a lot of matches still in this next Sunday. So it's gonna be exciting. Yeah. We'll see, Nara. We'll see.
Yes, we'll see.
There's
and
gonna
next
be more
Sunday, another huge day for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. How about your huge day? What matches are you going to be streaming this next Sunday?
Which matches? I guess it will be mostly Group B and D.
All right. So for all
like
those...
the last Sunday to cover the most French team and French player.
Yeah, I got it. Because Mugiwara also has a lot of French players, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Mugiwara, Nerf Everything, and Argonaut.
Yeah.
Have a lot of French players.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah, so for those of you who are French or you just want to learn French, because as you've heard, Mr. Nara can also speak English. He can teach you a few words here and there.
Do you know some French words?
Ah oui, bien sûr.
Ah, magnifique.
Oh, oui. Je peux parler français que tu veux. Oui, sans problème.
Oh, magnifique, incroyable.
Merci.
So well done.
Thank you so much.
I know a lot of people from Netherlands speak well French.
Yeah, we learn a little bit in lower school and high school, so yeah, we can manage for sure. But I think that it's good that we did this podcast in English, because I'm sure your English is better than my French. So let's keep it English for now. But
and for
sure,
people who see the video.
Yeah, they may think differently. We'll see. Yeah, and then for the official stream on Sunday, you can follow all the matches on CB Rivals if you want to have it in English. CB Rivals channel will be going after Group A and C, just like last Sunday. And on Conqueror's Blade Devs, you will be seeing Group B and D, just like last Sunday. And it will be pretty much the same casters covering those matches, so that they know what teams they're talking about. And then, yeah, it's going to be a fun Sunday, that's for sure. We're gonna get amazing matches.
We're looking forward for that Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Nara, thank you so much for doing this podcast with me. It's gonna be
and thank
fun.
you for your invitation. So it was really nice to talk about the next matches on the CBL.
Absolutely. So, guys, enjoy CBL for the whole summer and have a good vacation. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.